Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you're here. I wanted to talk about the world and what's happening. We are making our planet sick. We're not living sustainably. And when I say that, I'm talking about we have been programmed and deceived by large, greedy families and corporations that have power over what we purchase, what we learn in schools, what we watch on television and in movies. Brothers and sisters, we need to take care of things ourselves. Our planet needs our help. Our children and our grandchildren need our help. The polar ice caps are melting. The earth is warming. Soon there will be famine and lack of water. We have already lost over 60% of all of the trees on our entire planet. They're gone. And no one is stopping with the cutting of trees. The trees are still coming down at an astounding rate. Brothers and sisters, most of our wild animals are gone. Many species have become extinct over the last 50 years. We have lost most of our forests over the last 50 years. We must help ourselves. Our governments are not going to help us. How can we help ourselves? How can we help our children? How can we change our world to be more sustainable and healthy? By changing our lifestyles, brothers and sisters. Stop being programmed by movies and TV and commercials. How many commercials are you exposed to every single day, all day long? Even if you're just using social media, we're exposed to an extreme amount of commercials, repetitive commercials. We're being exposed to violence, pornography, profanity, all kinds of terrible things seeping in slowly, making us more used to it like it's a normal thing. It is not a normal thing, brothers and sisters. We should not be witnessing this at all. Brothers and sisters, I am trying my best to unlearn the things that were taught to me. I am doing my best to unlearn this way of life and relearn a natural way of life, a sustainable way of life, a healthy way of life. And I want to share what I learn with all of you. As I go on this journey to change my life and to help you change your lives, you can learn along with me. We can fix our planet, brothers and sisters. We can save ourselves, our children, and our grandchildren. But we need to do it together, as many of us as possible. It's not always easy because we've been brainwashed. We've been indoctrinated at the schools. So many of us think that we need bigger and better and fancier and newer this and newer that, and more clothes and the newest iPhone and a better laptop and a new car or a second car or a third car, a bigger house, a better bed, a new couch. No, brothers and sisters, be aware of the trap. This is hurting our planet. Our planet gives us life. All the bottles of water that we buy, are ending up in our oceans, in our rains, and in our forests, and in our plants, and our sea animals. Our water is sick, brothers and sisters. We need to stop. Many people in the world don't even have proper clean water to drink. That is unacceptable in this day and age. If our governments can spend so much money on satellites and military and weapons and sending things into space, there is absolutely no excuse why any person on the face of this planet is going hungry or without clean water. That is haram. It's evil. It's shaitan, which is Satan for all of you Christians and non-believers. Shaitan is Satan, so that anyone watching who's not a believer can know what I'm talking about. Brothers and sisters, we need to start making our own food. Stop shopping for things that are filled with garbage and chemicals, covered in plastics and cardboards and dyes. Relearn what it's like to make your own food, to eat healthy. We need to teach our own children. We need to teach them the skills that they need. Religion, God has been taken out of the schools, out of the workplace in most countries. American corporations have now gotten their foot into the door in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia was one of the last places that said, no, we're not letting you in. We're not having movie theaters. We're not listening to music. We're not going to follow the West. We are going to follow Allah. What's happening now, brothers and sisters? I think we see there was pornography done by non-Muslims in Mecca and Medina just recently. They let them in to do that. Movie theaters have opened up all around Saudi Arabia. Now, I'm not saying that movies are all bad, because they're not. There's a lot of really informative, good documentaries out there, and there are a lot of people that are putting out good content. But I think we all know what's going to be shown at the movie theaters. Disney, right? Violence, right? Sexual content. What's next? Remove the Quran from the schools? Undress all the women so they're running around naked? That's what other countries are doing. They never used to do that. If you go back and look at footage and photographs from 100 years ago, and that's only one lifetime, brothers and sisters, you'll see that women were covered. They were covered in Europe, they were covered in America, they were covered in Germany, they were covered in India, Asia, all of those places. Now what do we see? We see the breakdown of the family. We see people having to go out and work as slaves to feed the system, to constantly pay for the big house, pay for the fancy car, pay for the newest iPhone, pay for the designer clothes. You're a slave, brothers and sisters. If you don't have ownership and mastership over your own life, you're a slave. You're not a free man, you're not a free woman. But you didn't know you were a slave, did you? And the reason you didn't know that was because you were taught to believe otherwise. Brothers and sisters, I would like to help you unlearn almost everything that you've learned. I would like to help you change your lives so that you're no longer a slave to the system, and your lives can belong to you, and you can eat healthy food, and you can recognize healthy water, and you can teach your children the things that they need to learn, or you can find educators who will teach them the things that they need to learn. we can keep God in the lives of the people. Remain a community, remain a village, remain a tribe, not a separated, broken individual that is struggling to survive. People who are broken, lost, without religion or family or tribe or village, without any community, are easy to control. They're just trying to survive. They just want to find a way to put food on their table and clothes on their back, right? They're easy to control. Easy slaves. We need to take control of our planet. It is not us who have destroyed our planet. It is not us that have exploited the minerals and the resources of all of these countries. It is not us who have polluted the waters with giant oil spills and plastics. It is not us that have done any of these things. We are not the ones responsible for killing our planet and removing God from our children's lives. There are just a few families and greedy corporations who are responsible for all of it. And even though we have ended up going along with it by purchasing those products and using those products and believing what we're told, it is not our fault, because we were born into that. We were born into indoctrination. We were born into brainwashing. But, brothers and sisters, there is a great awakening happening now, and I think you've heard of it because it's been everywhere on the internet. People are waking up to the truth. We as a people can change our own lives, change the lives of our children, refuse to be a slave to the corporations and to the governments. Refuse. How do we do that? First of all, we stand up for what we believe in. We stand up for our rights as human beings. We demand better. We take control of our purchasing power. Start cooking for ourselves, gathering our own water from springs and other sources. No longer buy into the hoax of bottled water. Bottled water is one of the biggest hoaxes out there. It's not clean, viable, healthy water. It's been sitting in plastic, sometimes for months, maybe even years. There are certain corporations that go around stealing water from countries that don't have enough for their own people and shipping it out and selling it for $2 or $3 or $4 a bottle to other people in different parts of the world. That's unacceptable, brothers and sisters. It's unacceptable. How we can change things is to take things into our own hands in our own families. Store healthy foods. Learn how to garden inside your own home and your own yard or in your own apartment. Hydroponics. Indoor plants. Saving clean water. Taking trips out to springs, natural springs, and filling up water jugs and bringing them home. Learn how to cook, brothers and sisters. Healthy foods for you and your family. Don't depend on the government to help you for anything, because have they ever helped you? No, I don't think so. They'll keep you dependent on them. They'll keep you a slave in the system. It's our responsibility to save our planet, brothers and sisters, and we can do it. We need to educate our own children. If our children go to school, find out what the children are being taught. Add to it. Make sure children learn what they need to learn. Do they know about the laws? Do they know about tax laws? Do they know how to garden? Do they know how to grow food? Do they know about their bodies? Do they know about health? Do they know about medicine? Do they know how to handle money? Do they know about manners? Do they know about love? Do they know how to treat their neighbor? Do they know about charity? Do they know how to fix a car? Do they know how to fix something around the home, like put on a doorknob or a light fixture? If they don't, brothers and sisters, they're not being taught the things they need to learn in life. And it is our responsibility to make sure that they learn those things. And if we don't know those things, if we cannot teach them those things, we need to learn along with them. It is easy in this day and age to find out how to do things. We can use the information, we can use all of this technology that we've got right now for good. We can learn what we need to learn from it and throw out the rest. We can block out Satan, from our phones, our tablets, and our computers, and choose to only accept and let in the good and the useful. Brothers and sisters, now is the time to think about if we want to actually be paying a mortgage payment or keeping that large house. Do we really need the fancy car that we're paying payments on for the next 4 or 5 years? Or can we buy something for a few $100s or a couple $1,000s that runs just fine and puts that power of life back into our hands, puts that money back into our pockets, gives us time back? Time is irreplaceable. We cannot replace the time of our lives. Do we want to be giving it to a corporation? Do we want to be giving it to a business that we don't enjoy? For what? To pay for a house that we can't really afford? To pay for a car that we can't really afford? If you cannot pay cash for it, don't buy it. If you're making payments on credit cards, houses, cars, iPhones, get rid of them. Think about dumping all of it and walking away a free person. Walk away a free man and a free woman and take the rest of your money and buy something you can afford. Rent something you can afford comfortably. Take your lives back. Take your souls back. Free your children and your grandchildren. Brothers and sisters, now's the time that we need to save our planet. Stop eating so much meat and poultry. There are too many livestock and too many chickens out there, and they're taking up all the land, and they're being mistreated. They're ruining the planet. Now, I'm not saying that if you love meat or if you've grown up on meat to stop eating meat altogether. Cut down on it. Only buy halal, kosher meats and poultries. Buy from small local farmers. Or grow your own animals. Or don't eat animals at all. You can live without eating animals. And it's actually very tasty. I don't eat much meat. I never did. But lately, I've been eating next to none. So brothers and sisters, think about what I'm saying. You can adjust your lives. Do it slowly, do it little by little, or take a plunge and do it quickly, whichever way. But it has to be done, or there isn't going to be a future. There's not going to be food to eat in 10 years. There's not going to be water in 10 years. There's not going to be a future for your children and your grandchildren, and you love those people. Do you really want to see them starve? Or not have water? or not be able to live at all? Come on, brothers and sisters. This is our wake-up call. We need to change our lives. We need to live sustainably. And I'm going to try my best to help us all do that. Every time I try something or get some more information, I'm going to share it all with you. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave me a comment below. I always read the comments. I will always respond. And give me a thumbs up if you like my video.